What up, y'all? Randy Silva here with Becoming a Sportscaster vlog series number 23. Today we're taking you behind the scenes as a football reporter at the Holiday Bowl in San Diego, California, December 2023. I was a credentialed press reporter for the event, meaning I could work the full event, as you see right here in the photo on the right. Had my media pass. I've had a lot of people reach out to me and ask, how did I get media credentials? What's it like to work the event, the hours, the work, what do you actually do, everything in between. So just like I did for the PFL event, MMA, just like I did for the boxing event with Amanda Serrano and Danilo Ramos, boxing event, let's take you behind the scenes of the football event and what the week was like. So first off, the question is, hey, how did I get the press credentials? So let's dive into it. I went to the DirecTV Holiday Bowl. At the point in time, this was late to mid-November, right after the final week of college football. So the Bulls were about to be announced, knowing that they were going to start giving out press credentials. Local media for whatever respective team was going to the city start putting out information and saying, hey, come here, let's renew the work. I was like, I want to be on top of it as well. So we go to the bottom of the website. They have a bunch of information. There was a tab for media. When I went to media, you can see here it has a bunch of different information about the event, what was happening. So I went to the credentialing. I want to get credentials. Click here to apply. You can't do this anymore because the event obviously is over. I filled out the form. In addition, right here it said email Rick Scholes at holidaybowl.com. He is your credential pickup, your point man for anything you need. Going back to my business days as a sales rep, you see a contact, you reach out to the contact, you make that connection. Excuse me. So I reached out to Rick, let him know who I was, student at the Dan Patrick School of Sportscasting at Full Sail University, what my intentions were. We had a conversation. He had me verify who I was. You know, Full Sail is not as well known on the West Coast, especially if you're not in media entertainment industry. You may have not heard of it. So verified who I was with my program director. He sent an email. And then a couple of weeks later, I got approved, meaning I could go to the game week. Everything that was there, I had the media pass for. The Navy ship tour, SeaWorld, Gaslamp Quarter, and Port of San Diego. Bull Parade plus the game. Unfortunately, you can see it ran right through Christmas. Although I did not celebrate the holiday, I wanted to be around with my family and hang out during my winter break. So I didn't go down to San Diego till the evening of Christmas. So I made sure to be there the 26th morning because the press conference was there, which I'll talk about for the coaches. So I took a train from Orange County down to San Diego really late at night. I think it was like a 10 o'clock train. So I got there around 11:30. And that's how you get to me getting the opportunity to work the event. So we got some backing of how I got there. So if you have any questions about working the event, you're a Full Sail student, sports reporter, student in another school, always go to the Bull, whatever game website, whatever media, etc. website, check their media credential, apply, and try to make connections and make it easier for you. If, like me, you're a nobody. Respectfully, I'm a nobody. I'm not national media. I'm not local media. I'm not some guy with a big following. Just a student trying to make it in this game. I'm a nobody in the grand schemes of the media game. Fair enough, I know. I'm working my way up. I was able to get in. So the morning of, I was able to go to Petco Park. Yes, the Petco Park, if you're a baseball fan, home of the San Diego Padres MLB team. They hosted the bowl game inside a football game. Tradition to do it here. I have pictures, don't worry. We'll show you how they set the field. Had to go, so I could have got this early. I didn't get there again to the 26th. The coach's press conference was 11 a.m. Made sure to get there by 10 a.m., get my credential. That way I could get to the press conference room, walk around the park, make sure I knew what I was doing, set up everything, be extra early, on point. Also chose to wear my orange Dan Patrick shirt, bright. You know, people are going to see me. They're going to see the name, ask questions. Who's that guy? Set myself up to be successful. I was staying near Waterfront Park, which is Embarcadero area. Petco, as you can see right here, is about a 1.6 mile drive, just straight down Embarcadero. For me, It was about 10-minute Uber, very easy. I was staying with my aunt and uncle, Ned and Carla Silver. If you're watching this, love y'all. Thank you so much. Shout out for letting me stay and just being amazing people whenever I'm around San Diego. Very welcoming. Feed me, hang out, talk. Great guidance. Have been amazing aunt and uncle my whole life. So love y'all a lot. Thank you. And then the whole family, of course. So luckily for me, very easy to get to and from. I also used to live in San Diego near the beach in Pacific Beach, which would have been like a 25-minute drive. Could have done that, stay with friends, other people around. So the opportunity for me to go to Petco was relatively easy compared to other places. I didn't have to get a hotel or anything, which made it cheaper for a student. So I got myself situated. Here we are at the press conference room. I'm up on a platform, so better camera angle. As I showed in my last video, when we talked about sports digital production, what do I have? We have the Rode mic on top. I'm able to use my XLR cable and plug into their box so I can get the feed directly from the system. So it's crisp, clean mic talking directly into the mics. Sorry, let me say crisp, clean audio that is coming directly from the mics that people are using. And I have my tripod, my cables plugged in, my camera, got the headphones so I can make sure everything sounds good, ready to rock and roll. You can see other media members just using their cell phone. Hey, recording that way. They're not plugged into anything, just getting the natural sound that comes from being in the room, other things like that. Just cool photos. So who are the teams? USC traveled down the I-5, about a 2-hour drive from LA to San Diego, while Louisville had to fly about a 2,000-mile flight, maybe a little bit more, from Kentucky down to San Diego. 4.5-hour, 5-hour flight maybe, something like that. You know who is going to be the fan favorite based off of the location. Here's a DirecTV Holiday Bowl. Nice looking trophy to put in your cabinet. And here are some photos. So you got my camera set up on the left. So again, you got the tripod, the mic, the mixer, it's on. You can see the XLR cable is the big fat cable coming out. Then you have the Rode mic. Technically, I did not need the Rode mic plugged in for this. So I learned this, hey, I don't need to do this for the second time when we do the post-game press conference because it picked up some feedback that was put into the same channel. I was able to fix it up in the audio edition to take it out, but still, no need to have a Rode mic because I'm plugging into the system moving forward. Then you got Coach Jeff Brom at the press conference in the middle in the bright shirt with Lincoln Riley on the right sitting down in front of the Trojan helmet, and then the right photo, same thing. Now Riley's at the press conference podium and Brom is sitting down next to the Louisville helmet. You can see the setup is right there. People taking photos, listening. It was a very easy press conference. They both had opening statements and they talked about two major topics, which was one, people leaving for the NFL draft already, and two, the transfer portal. So a lot of players were not playing, such as Cam Williams, a Heisman Trophy winner for USC. Big topic of conversation there, and also just conference realignment with a couple Pac-12 schools moving to the ACC, where Louisville play, and USC moving from the Pac-12 to the Big Ten. This gave me an opportunity to ask Coach Brom a question, which I'll play for you in a moment. And this is great for me, one, as a student. Hey, pressure situation. My heart jumped a little bit, asking him a question. A D1 football coach in front of people, got to perform type of stuff, and making sure it's an intelligent question. Randy Silver, Dan Patrick School Sportscasting. Coach Brom, with two Pac-12 schools coming to the ACC next year, curious if you're using anything from this week, learning about being on the West Coast to prepare for future games on the West Coast.
Well, I think that next year we go to Stanford and play football, which will be a long trip for our team. So getting an opportunity to come out west and adjust to the different dynamics of long travel, I think will be beneficial. You try to just kind of study your opponents as you move into it, and of course we'll have to study a lot of things from the conference and get ready to play. But I think there's a lot of history and tradition with a lot of these teams, and we're excited to add Stanford and the University of California. I think they'll be great additions to our conference and add some excitement, and obviously there's a lot of change in college football in that regard. But for us, I think it'll be a great mix of two teams from out west that'll provide some excitement and interest across the country.
We'll pass each other in the air.
That's right.
So very thoughtful, intelligent question. Appreciated it. I got some hey, that was a good question from people after the press conference. To tip the cap to myself. So here are a couple photos of you just sitting at the press conference, listening to someone ask a question. After the press conference, had the opportunity to go up to the press box. This is normally the press box for a baseball stadium, right? So let me take away my head for a second. How does the field look? So you can see home plate is usually at the bottom left of the screen. You can see where it's kind of rounded, which would be the backstop of home plate. They cover the whole infield with grass for the football field, of course. Left field is just straight up the white line on the middle of the screen to the western metal supply wall. Right field is down the other way. You have center field with the SD and the fur in the background where it says the Razor Motorola. You have the skyline of San Diego behind you. What they do for the field, obviously they drew all the lines. They went from left field all the way basically to the first base. The dugout for the away team. Yeah, I think first base is the away dugout. But anyway, you put up the field goal post. So you can see how they built it up for the football game. And here I am at the press box. So this was after the press conference. People, what were they doing? A, they were writing up their reports for online journalism, print journalism, whatever it may be. Or B, there were people doing their video reports, such as myself. There were people from Louisville. I met multiple people from Louisville, local news, ABC, CBS, Fox, things like that. And they had to go live to Louisville and talk about the press conference and preview the game. Louisville is Eastern time, I'm pretty sure. So they were either 3 hours ahead Eastern time, or if they're Central time, I'm pretty sure they're Eastern, 2 hours ahead. But anyways, the point is, press conferences were 11 o'clock West Coast time, done by 12. So now it's 2 or 3 o'clock East Coast. They have the 4 o'clock news, 6 o'clock news, 7 o'clock news, things like that. So they had to stay. They had to create their videos, get their storylines ready to go. They went live. They had their own lighting, their own camera equipment, everything like that. Put in headphones, be able to speak back to their anchors who were live. They had to do multiple reports and create videos. So it was cool to see a local news team traveling to a big event, a bowl game for college football, D1 college football, and see what they're like. They were able to A, give me feedback on what I was doing, what was working, not working. B, talk to me about Dan Patrick, the school, and like what we're doing there. And they're like, oh my God, you guys are so far ahead of where I was in school, what you're doing, what you're learning, everything in between. So they were really excited for the opportunities that we're getting and being provided. And obviously they asked how was I able to get here. So I talked about my opportunity to get to the game, how I found it, etc. And everything was very positive about what I was doing to get myself in the field and be on the right track to be successful. Now they had some critiques. I was trying to memorize a script, and they're like, no, that's too hard when you're doing a live. Just have bullet points, slow down, enunciate, some things like that. So they were good tricks and tips that they taught me to be successful as well. And here I am. So what was I doing? I have my backpack, as you saw in the last video, got my cameras. I have the headphones, everything plugged in, and I was doing my post-press conference recap. The one thing I did not bring was lights. And if you can see, we're under basically bleachers here behind home plate. The lighting in the background was great, but there was no sunlight coming on us because you have the upper deck and the middle deck basically covering you. So you're screwed. When I went back to do my editing on my videos, they were bad. I mean, the videos sounded fine, but I was just super dark right here. Or it was picking up the ambient light from the scoreboard and the stuff they were doing around the scoreboard testing for the game. It made me very blurry and whatnot. So it wasn't good. So I had to go back and figure out how to redo it. It was not quality. And I was trying to do a pregame preview and a press conference all by myself. No partner, not throwing it to an anchor to ask me questions. So I had to prepare everything so I could go edit because I couldn't do it and like, oh, this was wrong and try to do it again. Well, daylight change. It's not going to look cohesively correct. So I did that probably from 11:30 to 12:30, tried to edit and it just wasn't good. So I found a different part of the ballpark. Again, doing my own thing, have my press credential. No one told me to do this. No one said I could. I just went there and asked for forgiveness if not. Almost a better view as well because you get to see a little bit more of the field. You have Petco over my shoulder. You see the USC and Louisville logo, so pretty cool. And I did the same thing. Had to redo my whole press conference recap and redo my whole preview of the game. Looked very good. Like a little bit of lighting issues. You can see it's a little bit on my face. However, again, did not have a light, probably would have helped me. But second time a charm, had the script down, went a little bit more fluid in being able to do it. I go to my Final Cut Pro, Adobe Premiere, as we talked about in the last video, new media tools, boom, put in my lower thirds, use Photoshop for that. Looks very professional, have that across the screen, be able to create graphics, everything for it, throw in the video, add B-roll to the video of the press conference, things like that. So here's my press conference recap. Again, the video will be linked below if you want to go take a look. And then I did my preview. The preview did not go well on the second time up there. There were parts that I missed that are essential for a preview that I thought were needed after the fact. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to stay and re-record. You can see that the lighting again, it's very much behind me, nothing in front of me. I have my phone, so I use my phone light a little bit. It made it a little bit better than it was, but moving forward, lesson learned, I need to bring lights like I have, like this right here. I need to bring one of these with me so I have it to be successful. So now we're probably at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, because I did the whole press conference preview, and that was done around 3:34, and I had to edit everything, put the videos in, do the lower thirds, YouTube, social media, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. So now I need to record this, and there was no food here. Ballpark is closed. I'm not bringing any food. I did not expect it to be here this long, so I'm just running on fumes right now. You know, life of a reporter, my fault. Should have brought food. So I record this. Same type of thing. Hey, add in lower thirds, have the B-roll, the video, everything. Puts me to 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Got this out, video editing, everything I needed to do. And I was done. So I got there at 10 a.m. the day before the game. Ended around 8:30 to 9:30, maybe 10 o'clock latest, day before the game. So I put in basically a 12-hour day. Yes, technical flaws got me there. Yes, there was more efficiencies I could have done. Maybe I could have done the editing at home, but I was trying to act like a real reporter. You film, you get the content, you have a deadline you need to hit. It was a very long day, but I loved every moment of it. This is why I came to Full Sail, why I came to Dan Patrick School of Sportscasting. I want to be your sports reporter. This is real world experience. 6 months in the program. I'm at Petco Park with this background. It's not a green screen. It's not a virtual background. This sets me apart for people in my class. Sets me apart from other people in the industry who potentially been there for a little bit and haven't had these opportunities. When someone looks at my resume, they look at my demo reel, they're going to see opportunities I've had and say, this guy's a go-getter. This person's able to do the job. Let's talk to them about trying to get them hired. So I'm trying to do this stuff to set myself apart, and I love it. Absolutely love it. I would have gone to Minnesota to do a game like this. It doesn't matter. It's a fact of working a D1 Holiday Bowl. So some of the graphics I created right here, USC versus Louisville, 5 p.m. kickoff. Easy to read, simple to the eyes. You know what's happening. Miller Moss, USC career stats. Mentioned earlier, Caleb Williams was not playing, so Miller Moss gets his first start for USC. He's had a couple opportunities to play throughout his 3 years. Simple stat, put it on the screen when I'm doing my game preview. When they talk about it in press conference, able to comprehend it and understand the story I'm trying to tell. The next morning, we had the Holiday Bowl parade. The parade went from where you see the seafood and oyster bar, basically all the way down to the fish market San Diego, just straight down Barcadero. Again, I was staying basically right there. Great. Woke up and made it happen. Didn't go to bed probably till like 10 too early. Maybe like a 1, 2 a.m. because I was still doing editing and preparing stuff. Woke up at 9 o'clock. Parade started at 10 o'clock. And I was like, okay, time to go, Randy. What am I going to do? My goal is to be a local news reporter. I'm getting sent from Louisville. I'm getting sent from every station to cover the bowl game. Part of all the bowl games are events around the bowl. I talked about the Navy, U.S. Navy ship was not able to go. SeaWorld was not able to go. Made the press conference. But I wanted to do something that was local. And here we go. We have a parade. How many towns have a parade? You got the Macy's Thanksgiving parade in New York. Everyone knows about. But local events. So, hey, Randy, you have a 3-hour deadline. You need to go film content. So film the events. You need to get interviews and then you need to put it all together for a video package for the local news. You're going to go live with your package at 2:30. Yes, I did not do a live stand-up. It could have been like I was doing live stand-up here, depending, but we need the video package in within 3 hours, and you're going to be using that on our local news station. So what do I need to do? It's a balloon parade. So let's get some pictures of people having fun. Balloons. There was a 5K race before the parade. So can we talk to someone who was in the race? USC and Louisville are the football team. So you know the cheer team's most likely going to be there. Let's show them doing that. Let's get some fans from both sides. Let's talk to them. Let's just show unique stuff. And of course, had to get the B-roll. Had some information in my head I looked up beforehand so I could ask the types of questions or know what type of footage I needed. But you get the B-roll, and then you basically make your script to fit the B-roll you have so you can have a cohesive story. Again, if you haven't had the chance to see what that is, it's at the bottom below. I think it came out pretty good. Nice story about the parade. And that took us to game day, baby. Woo! Actually, well, technically it was still game day, but now we're at the game. Press box again. Got there. The game was at 5. I probably got there around 3:30, hour and a half before. They had a nice catered lunch for anybody with press credentials. It was chicken parmesan, potatoes, green beans, some salad, and then the typical refreshments that people want: coffee, tea, water, soda, things like that. So I ate my food. It was nice. I did not really eat beforehand. Knew I was going to be able to get there. Watched warm-ups, so players practicing. Before, they also had marching bands on the field during the performance. Went around, tried to mingle a little bit. Obviously, dressed up much nicer in a suit for this. And this is my view. Big press box. And we talked about small fish, big pond. Smallest view right here. Terrible view, honestly. And it's a great view. Don't get me wrong. I'm humble. I love to be in this press box opportunity. But if you're ranking the view of people in the press box, it's a terrible view. The person next to me also technically was a nobody. Just, it wasn't a student, but the person was basically just logging the game for a small app. And we're not a big journalist from USC. We're not a big journalist from Louisville. We're not LA Times. We're not national media. They put those people with the view unobstructed. We get a little bit of obstructed view. You can see the glass there. So again, just painting the picture. I'm a nobody in this game. I'm happy to be here, but this motivates me. I only have one tweet bookmarked for myself. My first time in a football game press box as a sportscasting student, I am a nobody. I got my foot in the door, but I've done nothing. Save this tweet, come back to this in X years. I'll have a better press seat, be in the booth calling a game, or be the silent reporter. Mark my words, we're going to be there. It just motivates me. Again, what did Michael Jordan do? Small things motivate him in big games because he needed that motivation. For me, small motivation here. Work harder. I want a better seat in the house. So here's a view from the game right before it starts, so you can kind of see how they filled up the baseball stadium for the football game. Game went on. What did I do during the game? I logged the game, knowing I was going to do two things after the game, two different videos. One video would be a SportsCenter game recap, so I'm going to do my own post show. Randy Silver, Full Sail Live post show. 10, 20-minute recap. What were the big highlights? So I need to do a highlight. I need to log the game and know the highlights I'm going to talk about even before I even can pull them or grab them. You know the big plays. Also just good practice logging in general. We talked about that in Intro to Sportscasting. What were the big stories of the game? I'm going to go to the press conference. So what are the questions I want to ask? If I don't hear them, or I can ask myself. What are the key storylines for me to be able to talk about moving into next season, as this is the final game for both teams, things like that. So I'm thinking about that in the press box. And secondly, that's 10, 20-minute type of video. I want to do a quick 1 minute, 2 minute, something for local news. Louisville wins game. USC wins game. So who would be the key player, the key story I need to focus on if I'm going to do that? So two different things. They announced in the fourth quarter, hey, if you have a press pass, you can go down the field for the trophy presentation and the post-game celebration in general. I was like, oh, say less. Never been on the field for something like this before. So once the game ended, or more like with a minute left when the game was pretty much in hand, got my stuff ready, went down to the field. Look at my view right here for USC getting their trophy. What do I have? Same stuff. I did not set up my handheld mic. assuming it was going to be loud and I'm not connecting in the box. Just use a Rode mic, get all the ambient sound around me. And I have my mixer, have all the cables ready to go. And boom, look at that. Was taking pictures as well with my cell phone. Did not have my second camera on me. Some great photos of the shots. Here's some more. We start top left. After the fireworks show, which we'll talk about in a second, and all the players left the field, was just hanging out, enjoying the moment. Took a moment of mindfulness, meditation, humbleness. Hey, I worked so hard. I started the year in San Diego working for Oyster. Shout out everyone at Oyster. 12 months later, I'm back in San Diego as a sports reporter, credentialed, working a bowl game. Just, living my dream. So happy. So took a moment and had someone take a photo of me on the field to commemorate it. I was taking photos while the fireworks show was going on, and it was a crazy good fireworks show. It was so much fun to be there and watch and get some great content. So here's me enjoying and getting some candid photos. And the big thing, eggnog. Why eggnog? The new tradition of the Holiday Bowl. We've seen other bowls do Cheez-Its, mayo. Eggnog is now a Holiday Bowl. The coach got poured eggnog all over the head, and I have that video. It's in the bio. You'll see. Go to that playlist. So really cool to see. I had some great videos. All these videos on my YouTube as well. Great interaction, great content, gained some followers, things like that. After all this was done, went to the press conference for the winning team after. Louisville did not have theirs. Was able to listen to Lincoln Riley, head coach, players talk. I got to ask Miller Moss a question. There was a play in the third quarter. He threw an interception in the end zone. The team almost took it back for a pick six. Hey, Miller. You talked about, hey, first off, great game, 6 touchdowns. The one interception on the podium. That became a 14-point swing from you almost getting touchdown to them scoring. When you went out after that next possession, can you talk about what you told your offense to mentally prepare to get back out there and score the next touchdown?
Yeah, I mean, 100% my fault on that swing, turning the ball over in the red zone's not winning football, but I also had the mindset that I'm not going to allow my mistake to be the reason we don't win this game. So just told them that's 100% on me. Like, as long as we do our job, we'll be all good. And I think we responded positively. But, again, like, that's not winning football. You can't turn the ball over in the red zone. So definitely got to be better.
After the press conference. So you can see how long of a day it is. I needed to film my stuff now. Yes, could I have done it the next day? Yes, could I have gone home and just done it at the house? But nothing beats the Petco background. Again, as an upcoming sportscaster, one, this sets me apart when I'm trying to put out my demo reel and show and post pictures and whatnot, SEOing. But two, I want to be here. I want this background. I want the vibe. They were cleaning up everything around us, and they were not kicking us out, which is cool. But, one of the last people here at the stadium doing my stuff. So I have everything set up, and I made mistakes. I was out of frame on some of my shots, which was stupid, so I had to re-record. The audio was not plugged in. I did not have the mixer turned on, so none of the audio I did worked. So there's things like that where I just was not efficient. Same type of thing when I was at the parade. There were some interviews I did that didn't work because the audio was messed up, which was 100% my fault. I got to check that. When I'm a one-man person, one-man team, it's tough. You're doing so much. There's a lot of noise around you. You got to focus in and make sure you do the basics, because if you don't, you're going to be stuck having to redo stuff, or you can't use the footage that you had. So same type of thing. Did all my filming, and then boom. Again, could have used a light. Did not use my cell phone here for light, which I probably should have. Would have made it a bit brighter. But you can see the background is all still there. Graphics created. So one thing I did during the game as well was, hey, how can I prepare to have graphics ready to go? So updated the stats that are going. I was watching some of the Louisville and USC people. Of course, they're big universities. They have the whole team. Silent reporters, or reporters in general, graphic people, marketing, video, whatever. So I'm trying to do everything that they have 10 people doing for. It's challenging. Just a couple more graphics to show like the stuff created. Like the pretty good graphic, not gonna lie. If I saw this online, I'd be like, okay, nice job. So the first video was, boom. We're talking about the full recap, a post-game TV show. And then this is a Miller time. 6 touchdowns, a Holiday Bowl record for most touchdowns in one game throwing. Also a USC record for most touchdowns in your first start as a QB. So huge, huge game by him. So the storyline was, did he earn the job moving into 2024? This probably got done around 11:30, 12. And again, I got to the game at 3. So what is that? Threes. I was like 8-9 hours at the field, include everything I did before. That's a 12-15 hour day. Once I got home, still more editing to go because I needed to get the Miller timeout. That was number one. So I did not go home until I did not get in bed till about 4 a.m. Did not probably fall asleep until 5 because I was just so wired from all the video, the lights, everything. Slept until about 11 and then edited all the next day at my uncle's house until about 10 p.m. at night. Took a break for dinner, hung out, took some fresh air. But that whole next day was creating the post-game show. Obviously, it would have been nice to have it out right after for SEO needs, but one-man show couldn't get it done. And I think they both came out great. Again, check the playlist. It's all there. Really, really good stuff. After this, what did I do? I stayed in San Diego for New Year's. There were a couple days, and I just hibernated, hung out with friends, kept it very low key. I was definitely drained. But this is just one day, or technically a couple days. You do this, you go back. Some people don't get the break, and they have to go back to local news and find a new story for the next day and things like that. So it gave me a really good experience of what it's like to have to work a sporting event, work local news, anything of that nature. So that is your behind the scenes Holiday Bowl football reporter. It was an amazing time, a great experience. I grew a lot individually, professionally, networking, made great connections, talking in front of camera, behind camera work, audio, video, lighting, everything in between. I got to watch a football game and live my dream as a sports reporter. I've been to Petco 50 times for music concerts, for baseball games, of course. And now I was back as a sports reporter living my dream. Very humbled. It was a great opportunity all around. I hope I get the chance to do it again next year. It'd be great. And I hope I get more opportunities. So that is Vlog 23, Becoming a Sportscaster. If you have any questions, comments, again, please reach out to me. I'm happy to share any and everything with you. Open book to help you achieve your dream, whatever it may be. If you just want to hear more, I'm here. Go check out all the other vlogs as well. We talk about so much here around Full Sail and just chasing the dream. Thank you for being here with me. Until next vlog, Randy out.